Straight ahead on 12 News, a drug company has plans to move to Brooklyn Park, but there's one caveat. It wants millions in tax subsidies. Then, out of difficult circumstances comes a great gift.
There's no words that describe it. I mean, I'm so grateful for the chance, the second chance I got.
But first, a loud boom and a lot of damage. The Brooklyn Park neighborhood that became the center of a police search. 12 News starts right now. 2 people are in jail after trying to flee police in Brooklyn Park.
The pursuit started after police caught the 2 in a stolen truck at a car dealership. As Sonia Goen shows us, some homeowners are paying the price for the chase.
A Brooklyn Park family got an early morning wake-up call. All this damage, the end result of a police chase. It all started around 2 this morning when police were making a routine security check at this Luther Dodge dealership, and they found something out of the ordinary.
The ignitions were punched in these 2 vehicles.
Police were searching the front of the building when all of a sudden a pickup truck speeds past them.
Officers attempted to catch up with the vehicle, activating their lights and sirens.
32 occupants, female and a male driver.
The 2 were riding in a brand new gray 2013 Dodge Ram. Police say they were going very fast, traveling eastbound on 73rd from West Broadway with no headlights on.
He went south Arcot Park. I lost sight of him.
The driver eventually turned into a nearby neighborhood, made a turn onto the intersection of Bethia and Idaho Avenue North.
He crashed at Bethia, straight north.
Police say the driver got to this intersection, lost control, and slammed right into this house. The truck also clipped the house next door. Tire marks show the path the truck made before hitting the house. Once the truck struck the house, the driver and passenger got out and ran.
One of our canines was brought in to assist with the search of the immediate area.
Police say the 2 suspects were hiding out in a nearby garage.
We were able to take both of those individuals into custody at that time.
Now, no one was hurt in the house. One of the residents told me she would have normally been sleeping in that room, but for some reason she slept in another room last night. As for the suspects, they are facing charges of auto theft, fleeing police, and burglary. And Mike and Alex, the 2003 vehicle wasn't the only one taken last night. They're also missing a 2003 Jeep Liberty.
All right. But it could have been much worse if someone had been in that room.
Right, they're very lucky.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Sonia.
Well, Brooklyn Park could soon be the new home for a major pharmaceutical company. But first, it wants millions in city and state tax subsidies. Delane Cleveland joins us now with more on that to explain. Delane?
Mike, the company is Illinois-based Baxter International. City officials estimate it could bring up to 200 high-paying jobs to Brooklyn Park. But the caveat is that both the state legislature and city of Brooklyn Park provide Baxter with tax breaks.
This facility is unique in the world. I mean, there are only a handful of these facilities in the entire world. So it's very specialized, very hard to reuse. And so we're excited about the possibility that that could again be reused for its intended purpose. It means a lot for the city of Brooklyn Park.
Brooklyn Park officials say they've approved a term sheet with Baxter to provide more than $1 million in tax abatement over 10 years and about $500,000 in tax increment money for the plant. Baxter purchased the former GenMab building near Highway 610 for $10 million, but the company is still evaluating whether to turn it into a full-blown manufacturing site. The Associated Press reports that Baxter is seeking a $5 million forgivable loan and possibly more from the Minnesota legislature before the project proceeds.
Regionally and statewide, it's a huge benefit in an industry that is gaining and expanding a footprint in this state that doesn't exist to a large extent today. And so I think that's part of the reason why the state is also interested in looking at this, because really this here is a statewide benefit, but it'll also, of course, mean a lot for the city of Brooklyn Park.
No word yet on a timeline as to when Baxter would convert the building into a manufacturing facility if the legislature approves the tax subsidies. Meantime, it's estimated that the average salary for people working at Baxter would be $75,000 a year. Mike?
All right, thank you very much. In a symbolic gesture to victims of the Boston Marathon bombings, Governor Dayton has ordered all state flags to be flown at half-staff until sunset on Saturday. Meantime, federal investigators say they have made substantial progress in the case. Earlier Wednesday, a flurry of national media reports indicated there was an arrest. Federal investigators deny those reports.
Minnesota lawmakers could get their first pay raise since the late 1990s. The Minnesota Senate approved a bill that would raise pay from $31,000 a year to $42,000. It would take effect in 2015. Supporters say without better pay, well-qualified candidates may not run. The bill barely passed, however. The vote was 34 to 32, and the legislation is unlikely to pass the House. Leaders in that chamber say it's not a priority.
The State Patrol and local police are cracking down on distracted drivers Thursday. If you text and drive, which is illegal in Minnesota, it may be harder to hide. Police will board buses and trucks to get a better look at what drivers are doing.
There we go. He's got his phone in his hand. No turn signal. We're over the lane.
Now you can see it all aboard a bus or a truck. Drivers eating, texting, talking, doing anything but driving. Distracted driving is one of the leading causes of crashes in the state, and police say lives are at stake.
It is so pervasive and so prevalent that our society needs to have that instant gratification every minute of every day. And we just really need to slow down and go back to driving of vehicles.
Riding on buses and trucks Thursday will give law enforcement officers a better angle to see distracted drivers. Again, it is illegal to text or use the internet on your mobile device, even while stopped at a traffic light. Well, right now, more than 3,000 people in Minnesota are awaiting an organ transplant.
Each year at North Memorial Medical Center, more than a dozen donors answer that call. Renee Bonneau shares one family's story of loss that led to renewed life.
He loved to hunt, he loved to fish, he loved people. He lived on the wild side of life, I would say. We were always afraid, Debbie and I, just because of his risk-taking, that someday we're going to get a call.
On October 13th, 2006, Jeff Pouliot's family got a call, one they never saw coming.
And they said that he had, in his sleep, had a stroke, massive stroke.
At 34 years old, Jeff had a brain hemorrhage that left irreparable damage, but the rest of his body was in good condition, making him an ideal candidate for organ donation.
Not only did Jeff have it on his license, but he had talked to all of us about it, and so we were grateful that we heard it from his lips, you know, that was something he wanted to do. And so it was not a hard decision for us at all.
It was a decision that saved Leroy Wegscheid's life.
I had congestive heart failure about 20 years, and then I had 4 heart attacks and got to the point where it was no good.
Leroy was on a transplant waiting list for 5 months when he got the call about Jeff's heart.
There's no words that describe it. I mean, I'm so grateful for the second chance I got.
Jeff and Leroy's story is just one of many that start here at North Memorial Medical Center.
Organ donors, usually about 20 to 25 per year. Tissue and eye donors, over several hundred per year.
The hospital is honoring its donors with this wall of heroes that remembers those like Jeff who gave life after death.
It sparks memories for me, and it reminds me how important it is. And, you know, the people that I have in my life, I encourage them to, to donate.
Somebody died to give me my heart.
Leroy and Jeff's parents all say they hope the wall shows others that donation is truly worth it.
My daughter said, well, Mom, our prayers weren't answered, but those other families' prayers were answered. You know, Jeff was the answer to their prayers.
Deb, Greg, and Leroy will join other donor families and recipients at an open house Wednesday evening at North Memorial, where they will unveil the Wall of Heroes and, of course, celebrate those who donated. In Robbinsdale, Renee Bonneau, 12 News.
You can register to be an organ, eye, and tissue donor by indicating it on your driver's license or online at donatelifeandthen.org. Coming up, something many of us women spend a lot of time and money on, our hair.
We will have some money-saving tips coming up next. Then later in sports, is a return trip to state in the works for the Totino-Grace baseball team? We'll have a preview.
But first, a reminder that Thursday is the statewide tornado drill. Hennepin County will sound sirens at 1:45 and 6:55 p.m.
The battle over chicken is about to heat up in the northwest suburbs. Not long after Popeyes opened in Brooklyn Park, the fried chicken chain expects to open next month in Crystal. There's also future plans for a Popeyes at Shingle Creek Crossing in Brooklyn Center. And that's not all. Chicken giant Chick-fil-A has plans to open in Maple Grove. It would be the first freestanding Chick-fil-A in the state. The city has approved the plans, but construction has yet to begin. Oh, you wouldn't know it by looking outside, but seniors' prom and spring formal season is in full swing.
The cost of attending those events, as well as graduations or weddings, can really add up. Reporter Shannon Slatton shares what women need to know when planning for a special day.
If someone in your house is attending a prom, a graduation, or even a wedding, you can spend $50 to $100 just on hair. Today we have a few tips for you to try to cut that cost.
You spend so much time finding the dress and the shoes and the accessories, and then the last thing is your hair.
Dory Amsler runs the Fantastic Sam's hair salons in Maple Grove.
We do specialty styles and updo styles and anything in between.
She says more people are coming in just for hairstyles.
More of a full round brush with a little curling.
If they are attending a wedding or a reunion.
A big trend is not to wash your hair every day. So get it styled, get it blown out.
One way to control the cost is to know the style you want.
We were able to get her braided and give her a little bit of a side bun.
You can look through magazines from salons or even the library to get ideas. Plus, you can often get a free consultation if you ask.
It's good to have some kind of an idea of what you want when you come in.
Just a shampoo and style will start at $25. Updos usually start at $50. The longer the hair, the more you can expect to spend. If you have the time and patience to tackle the job yourself, you can find step-by-step photos on the social media site Pinterest or do-it-yourself videos on YouTube. Finally, while you can just walk in at this salon, think about scheduling a few weeks in advance so you can get the time you want.
The more prepared you are, the better.
In Maple Grove, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
Coming up, some local faces hoping to become part of the Vikings team.
But first, it's an actual game. Cooper and Maple Grove battling in girls lacrosse indoors. John Jacobson has the highlights next. Of course, you can't move all sports indoors, but some of them you can, and they took advantage of that last night.
They got a game.
They got a game in, which has been rare so far this spring in any sport. With the cancellations of games left and right, high school teams are scrambling to find indoor facilities for practices and games. The Cooper and Maple Grove girls lacrosse teams played their first game of the season under the bubble of the Maple Grove Sports Dome. Crimson opened the scoring as Ashley LaPointe finds Emmy Leonard, who bounces the shot in for a 1-0 Maple Grove lead. Up 2-0, the Crimsons strike again here. Leonard and Michelle Lynch, she buries it for Maple Grove's third goal of the first half. From the free position, it's Sam Root wasting little time shooting and scoring. That goal makes it 6-0 Grove. Helena Wynn sets up Lynch for a goal late in the first half. Maple Grove takes a 9-2 lead into halftime. Second half, and it's Wynn and Lynch combining for another goal. Maple Grove goes on to score a 14-2 win. The Crimson play at Elk River Monday. A few hours later at the Maple Grove Sports Dome, Totino-Grace beat Cooper 11-3 in a North Suburban Conference softball game. Alex Reek had a 2-run homer for the Eagles, while Emily Iannazzo recorded 2 hits with 2 runs scored. 2 players who led Cooper to its first ever conference title in girls basketball this winter were honored at their school. Cooper standouts Talia Rich and Chelsea McGee made their college choices in a ceremony this afternoon. McGee is headed to Division II University of West Florida. She averaged 13 points, 3 assists, and 3 steals this season. Rich will go the junior college route, heading to Odessa College in Odessa, Texas. They've won 3 national JUCO titles in women's basketball, most recently in 2007. Rich was North Suburban Conference Player of the Year and led the Hawks in scoring and rebounding. Here's what they had to say today about their choices.
I like the location and the campus, and the people just made me feel like it's somewhere I want to be when I'm far away from home. The fact going out, far out, led my decision on going there. The coaches actually comforted me, and that's what I like about the coaching staff. So that and just being on my own, starting a new chapter in my life, that's really what made me go out there.
The Totino-Grace baseball team knocked off favorite Maple Grove on the way to winning the Section 5 3A tournament last spring. The Eagles are aiming for a return visit to the state tournament. Grace returns 9 players and 4 starters from that state tournament team. Guys like pitcher-catcher Marco Lucarelli, outfielder pitcher Charlie Miller, pitcher third baseman Derek Lodemeyer, outfielder Ben Peterson, and infielder Matt Ludy. They all lead what should be a pretty deep Eagles team.
I think we have a lot of good players coming back. I mean, our senior class this year is really loaded, and then our juniors are going to contribute a lot as well. I think we'll have a really good team this year.
We got a lot of good hitters up and down the lineup. We have good pitching. We're pretty deep. Our juniors have some good pitchers, and we're good fielders too. We got some speed in the outfield.
As for all teams, the postponements are stacking up for the Eagles. One thing they've tried to do to build some competition at practice is to keep things interesting.
It's been a challenge. It's, you know, like today we're doing something that's competitive, and it's putting guys against guys and different ways to score points for their team and trying to be as creative as we can, but it has been interesting.
Well, we've been doing a lot of live pitching, you know, getting some at-bats, getting the pitchers ready for the season so their arms will be good when they're ready, and we've been doing a couple fun drills that keep us interested.
The Eagles are playing a game indoors Wednesday night against Wayzata at the Metrodome. We'll have highlights Thursday starting at 4 here on 12 News. And that's a look at sports for today.
All right, thanks a lot, John.
Thanks, John. Still ahead, why some local cheerleaders want us to cheer for them.
We'll be right back. A little taste of Italy, or more specifically, a little taste of Sicily, is on the menu in Robbinsdale this week.
Being poured at Nonna Rosa's restaurant, and winemaker Stefano Girelli from Sicily is in town for a special 4-course dinner Thursday night, open to the public. Girelli's wines from the Santa Teresa winery will be featured with the meal, and preparations are already underway in the kitchen. Dinner guests will have the chance to talk with the winemaker, and he says it's his chance to bring a little Sicilian sun and spirit to the occasion through his wines.
Wine is culture, food is culture, and to be here and to be able to promote Italian culture and Sicilian culture is really very, very important for us.
The Nonna Rosa event costs $39. Dinner begins at 6:30. Well, finally, local Vikings fans have a new reason to cheer.
6 local women are in the running to become the team's cheerleaders. They just need your vote. 2 of them are from Maple Grove. 2 are from Plymouth, 1 is from Brooklyn Park, and another is from Golden Valley. There are 52 candidates. All of them are competing for just 20 spots. Voting ends next Wednesday, and you can vote as many times as you like. Just go to Vikings.com, and you can root for the home team.
You can vote for all of them.
That's right. That does it for us.